Selection Sunday is 6 days away. So today I decided to bring you 3 dark horses to win the 2024 NCAA March Madness tournament. This is teams that I really like a lot that aren't necessarily going to be one seeds. Tennessee is in here, so if they do end up being a one seed, it's because they did some work in the SEC tournament. Same thing with UNC. If they do end up being a one seed, it's because they did some work in the ACC tournament. But right now, the one seed should be Houston, Purdue, Arizona, and UConn. So none of those teams are listed in here. And as I mentioned, the first team is going to be Tennessee. And I really like Tennessee. I think they're probably going to go deep in this tournament. Not necessarily to win the national championship, but I think they are a really, really good team with a really high floor. 21.4 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 48% shooting from the field, 41% from three are the numbers for Dalton Knect, who is a National Player of the Year candidate. They have really, really good defenders off the bench with Meshack, Tobe Awaka, and Jordan Gainey. And then they also have Josiah Jordan-James, who's a really good defender, averaging about 9 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. Their big man in the middle is Jonas Adu, who is a really good rim protector, and he anchors their defense. I mean, it's tough to score on this Tennessee team unless you come into their house and hit 15 threes like Kentucky did. Adu 12 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, like we mentioned, a couple blocks a game, and he doesn't play that many minutes, honestly. They got a really good veteran guard duo with Zakai Ziegler and Santiago Vescovi. Ziegler's averaging about 11.6 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. He's the engine to this Tennessee offense, and like I said, man, I really like the Volunteers this year. Even though Vescovi's having a down year, they got a bunch of guys that can hurt you. Vescovi, he was good last year, much better last year than he was this year. And again, this is a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year. They don't even really lose anybody, but they gain Dalton Knect, and they gain back Zakai Ziegler, who they were missing. They're 8-2 on the road this year, and looking at their metrics in KenPom, they are 5th overall with the number 25 offense and the number 3 defense. So that checks out, the boxes of every national championship for the last 20 years. 7th in strength of schedule and 275th in luck. So honestly, they've been a little bit unlucky. Looking at their schedule, they had some, good tests early on with Purdue, Kansas, and North Carolina. Of course, they lost all of them. But we're not looking at what teams did necessarily in the beginning of December. We're looking at teams that have done lately, and really their only loss lately has been to Kentucky when, like we said, Kentucky came in and hit 15 threes. I think this team is an Elite 8 lock, and they should be a really, really safe team to pick in your bracket. Number 2 is North Carolina, and this team, of course, is led by another National Player of the Year candidate in R.J. Davis. 21.1 points per game for him, 3.5 assists, 43% shooting from the field, and 41% from 3 on 7.5 attempts per game. Again, this guy is the engine for this North Carolina team, but he has a lot of help. Harrison Ingram is a mismatch nightmare. We saw that utilized versus Duke. They could not guard him. He's averaging 12.5 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, 1.5 steals on 38% shooting from 3 on about 4.5 attempts. He's tough to stop. And then you got Armando Bacot inside, who is 6'11", averaging 14 points per game, 10 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, and shooting at 54% from the field. But this UNC team is very experienced. RJ is a senior. Harrison Ingram is his 3rd year. Cormac Ryan and Armando Bacot are both 5th years. And Cormac Ryan apparently is Duke's father. 11.5 points per game for him on the year, 3 rebounds. He only shoots at 35% from 3, but as we can see, he can snap for 6 threes at any moment, and Duke fans now know that very well. They also have other good guards with Seth Trimble and Elliot Cadeau coming off the bench. Cadeau averages about 8, Trimble averages about 6. They play good defense. Jalen Withers and Jalen Washington are their 2 posts that come off the bench, so they got good length. Withers is just kind of that scrappy guy, and then Jalen Washington, kind of same thing. They're 7th in the net, and they also have an 8-2 road record, which is something to look for in March. Can teams get it done on the road? Interestingly enough, they only have the 26th best offense in KenPom, but something that is crazy for a Carolina team, they are 5th in defense. At least under Hubert Davis so far, they haven't necessarily been the best on the defensive side of the floor, but they are this year, and they're getting hot. 6 straight wins. including over Virginia Tech, Virginia, Miami, and of course the big win over Duke. They have 4 guys averaging 12 plus points per game, which is something you look for. Not a team that requires one guy to go out and get 30. They create mismatch problems all over the floor, and that's why I like this UNC team. Real quick, if you have not already, make sure to go hit that like button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on these teams and maybe a team that you think is a dark horse to win the national championship this year. Also, hit that subscribe button. But like I said, we're trying to hit 100 likes on today's video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on here to team number 3, and that is the Baylor Bears, who are projected at about a 3 seed right now. Maybe they drop down to a 4 after that loss to Texas Tech. But I love Baylor this year. This is a team, the last time I correctly predicted the national champion, it was Baylor. Now, I don't think they're going to win it, but I think this is a team that's going to go on a deep run. They got 6 guys averaging 11 or more points per game, which is something you really look for. They are 6th in three-point percentage, despite being 187th in three-point attempts. So they don't necessarily rely on the 3-ball. They're just really good at hitting it, which is kind of crazy for a college team. Jacoby Walter, averaging 15 points per game, 4.5 rebounds on 34% shooting from 3, 6.2 attempts. He's the freshman that makes this team go. And then Ray J. Dennis is the point guard, averaging 13.7 points, 6.7 assists, and 1.4 steals on 50% shooting from the field, and he shoots at 36% from 3. The other 4 guys include Jalen Bridges, Langston Love, who they have been missing here lately, Kendrick Nunn, and Yves Missi is their big man in the middle. 6'11", and he's really come on towards the end of the year here. He's averaging 11 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, 65% shooting from the field in 22 minutes a game. So really good minutes for him for the overseas product. And then Jalen Bridges from West Virginia. This guy, I think he's a 5th-year senior, 6'8". He's probably going to be an NBA draft pick because he can fill it up from beyond the arc, and he can defend because he's 6'8", 42% shooting from the 3-point line, 48% overall. I said Kendrick Nunn earlier. It's actually Jaden Nunn. I apologize. And then Langston Love and Nunn both shooting at 45 or better from 3, which is crazy. They're 14th in the net. They got a suspect road record, but I think it's all right. They're 14th in KenPom with the number 5 overall offense. The defense is not great. They're 3rd in strength of schedule, though, and 283rd in tempo, so they can be methodical at times, although at other times, they can be run and gun. But what really scares me about this team is the defense. Other than that, I love them. And I think their defense is getting better. They also have Scott Drew, who knows how to get it done at the helm. Overall, I really like the Baylor Bears. I really like all 3 of these teams. I'm not sure if any of them can beat Houston to be the national champion. Remember, Houston did go into Waco and beat Baylor a couple weeks ago, but they didn't have Langston Love for that game, who is back now, so we will see what happens. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. If you disagree or if you have some different dark horses, let me know down in the comment section below. We can discuss March Madness topics. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.